either one of us has to work more, I'm not interested. I'd rather stay in this house on this little plot of land out here in this country for the rest of our lives, and we get to actually have time to sit in a rocking chair and enjoy the breeze and watch our kids play. I'd rather do this and not have to be busy and grinding and hustling and trying to figure out the finances rather than have more and then we never enjoy each other or the stuff that God has given us. And that's just been my mentality, period. I just don't want the lifestyle that comes with trying to keep up with the Joneses we've created in our own mind. And it used to be that the Joneses were just the people right there. Now the Joneses are on your phone. And our kids are seeing all the Joneses from everywhere across the entire earth. And we're all trying to keep up with an unreachable standard. That's a filter anyway. It's not even their real life. The people that posted it, it is not even their real life. And you have no idea the cost of acquiring that thing and the headache that has come with the upkeep of that thing.
And I'm going to stop it right there. I told that to my wife one time. We had to have a serious conversation because she wanted a newer house and she wanted a bigger house. And I'm like, damn, I'm at 3,000 square feet plus right now, like 3,200 square feet. I couldn't see myself cleaning a 5,000, 5,500 square foot house for the sake of having it. And after that conversation, that's why I love this woman. She said, you're right. And she said, I really feel that way too. Honestly, we do that. We do that to ourselves because we drive by these big mega houses and mansions and we're like, man, if I can only live there, everything will be right. But take it from somebody, man, who had his first Land Rover. Oh God, don't get a freaking Land Rover. Look, yeah, I know I'm gonna say that. I'll probably do a video just on like bad cars. Because the thing fell apart. Now, I'm gonna tell you, my brother told me that. He said he already had a Range Rover. Lee, don't get that. He didn't say don't get that. He said I would never get this type of brand of car again because this is what I experienced. Then he also had a Beamer. Nice 9 Series. I wouldn't do that again, Lee, because when I hit 80,000 miles, it was a wrap. But stubborn, cocky, and I'm calling myself this at that time, not now, but then I bought it and I went along with it and I got that land and it was cool the first year and a half. But boy, after that year and a half, it was almost like they flipped the knob at the dealership and say, we're going to mess up his head and we're going to also mess up his bank account. Boy, that's why we can't sit back and look at what people have. In real estate, I said, stop looking at people buying all these multifamily homes. Because not everybody needs to actually own a multifamily home. Not everybody needs to own a single family home. I believe, and it took me a while to really get to that point, so I'm sharing it with y'all so you get it. You have an investment strategy that's in you when it comes to real estate, and it probably won't look like everybody's because it may require you failing until you figure it out if you don't listen to this. And failing just means you find a individual lane. Y'all like that. Find an individual lane. I got that from a mentor, real good guy. Finding an individual lane, because that's really what it comes down to. And when I understood that, I started seeing people who only bought land, and they bought land because it was easy to maneuver. They didn't have to dealing with tenants, and they could just park it there, and their $20,000 that they got from a bonus that year went into that plot of land, and it sat. And over time, sometimes it could be a year. Sometimes it could be 5, 6, 7 years. If they're going to build wealth, over time, that land appreciated in value. And next thing you know, that piece of land they bought for 20 was like now 100,000. And they didn't do anything but just buy in the right place. And the energy that would have been spent on dealing with tenants was spent on or dealing with inspections or dealing with foundations or dealing with fixing things up to get it ready to be sold or be rented, I would say, wasn't dealt with. It was just really one focus, and the focus was buying right. And that's it. And so knowing that they were buying right and the margin, which considered risk, allow them to make better decisions.
And then we're trying to do it ourselves. And I am grateful to say that God has given me and Jerry a sense of contentment. We just all right with what currently is. And so I pray for that for all of us. I pray for that for all of us, that we will be contented with what God has currently given us. I'm on a little soapbox now. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But here's
I was
the
going to
thing.
ask you to get on a soapbox.
How to sell to a black man.
And she's right. Can we endeavor to do that? And I truly believe being content with what's given to you goes back to what I said earlier, knowing truly who you are and being confident and resting in it, not on your color. We already know we black. You can't project it more than that. Like, it's not too much black history you can learn. But it doesn't come from a black history. It comes from, man, your spiritual history. It comes from your spiritual knowing. Because I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. I threw it out there, right? To get through that black belt test took more than the physical, showing up 3 a.m. in the morning to do the test and it not getting done till 9 p.m. and knowing that that is the way that the test is, took a level of confidence who I am and spiritual fortitude that had to go past my physical. That's why I tell people, we're unique as African Americans. We have a sense of spiritual connection, and we understand that we're more than just being black, but we don't leverage that enough, and we don't do enough study in it. We spend more time trying to convert people and all this other stuff when we should spend time building ourselves in it and building that relationship with God, you know? So we can be confident when these things come at us because we're not pulling from some fable that we heard a pastor preach in church that really didn't line up with the truth, but we embraced it because it felt good. And we stand more in something that's intangible, that it doesn't matter how many bankruptcies or craziness that comes our way, it can't be taken from us.
Just in one word.
We gonna
That
talk
word is
about it.
recognition. But perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated. This need is a very real and important one. It shows up even in many of the Negro's shopping habits.
Just wild.
Anyone who sells or wants to sell to the Negro customer should know about some of these habits. To begin with, most Negroes buy by brand.
Think they know us.
They ask for products by name. They're quick to turn down off-brands. Do you wonder why? You see, for a long time, the Negro has been sold a lot of shoddy, second-class merchandise. So now he asks for name brands in order to make sure he gets his money's worth. This woman, for example,
Crazy
is buying
design.
fine crystalware. But she is also buying the admiration and approval of her friends and relatives.
Wow.
It's a well-known fact that many Negro customers are influenced by the opinions of others. What their friends may think of a certain item often decides whether or not the sale is made.
Boy, they been had us figured out, man. For real. At the end of the day, man, if we stop acting like $1 million, you could really have $1 million. Why we gotta live for the Joneses, man? Get you some assets, man. Live like the white folks, man. Get you some flip-flops in a Hyundai. It's about stacking and living, man. Money.
Yeah. Dude. My man said flip-flops, and he's not lying. Like, when I go to the beach, and I enjoy going down to the beach, 30A, Destin, Sandestin, Pensacola, that hole in the wall is my piece in a lot of places. And the reality of it is, I love when I see people like that look like me show up there, and they look like they're dressed for the beach. They don't look like someone that is trying to impress someone in an environment that the reality of it is nobody cares. Everybody's there to get sunshine and to smoke a cigar or sip a margarita on the beach. Okay. They're not there to be impressed by your Jordans that you just bought that you feel you need to walk and bring to the beach. And that, when I saw that, because I used to do the same thing, guys, I'm not lying. Like, I would go and it'd be hot. I'm like, why it's so hot? You hanging out. Why don't you dress for the occasion? And the occasion required you just to have a black or a white tee and then some cool shorts and some flip-flops. That's not enough. We always have to impress. And that's what I'm attacking and I'm talking about.
Ain't nothing but the tickets to life. The more you tell people about your money, the more they're gonna ask for your money. There's no point of showing money. That's all you're getting is a woman who want to take from y'all, man. This is why they sent rappers for our vote. Right here. Because they know us. We so easy predictable. I need the name brand. Man, give me some knockoffs in a big-ass house. You feel me? You feel me? That's just how I feel. Because I was raised by the real. Motherfuckers who really got that. Not motherfuckers who really want that. And like I say, black people, the only people, like, as soon as we get in an argument, nigga, you broke as hell. That should tell you something right there. Why we got to talk about who broke in an argument?
Maturing is realizing that it's cooler to have money in your pocket than having really nice things. And
so I just moved into a pre-war apartment from a luxury apartment. And one of the first comments that somebody that I know said about my apartment, which I love my little cute apartment. I'm still renovating, so make sure to check out that stuff on YouTube. But one of the things somebody told me was, oh my God, like I showed them the apartment. They were like, oh, I don't like your walls. Like you have popcorn walls. I was like, I'd rather have popcorn walls than pay $2,500 for a luxury apartment that I barely stay at because you're at work 5 times out of the week. But the fact that like that was the first thing, it was just like, oh, you have popcorn walls. So what is that gonna do for my life? I'm just glad my rent is low and I can afford to save money and do other things besides spend half of my paycheck for an apartment. Like, let's be for real. I love my popcorn walls, okay? They're so cute. No, they're coming together.
So we're like going into our...
Yeah. I think the coolest thing I did was when I started real estate. I think about a couple years. It was a couple years in. I remember the very first car I could buy. And I had a chance to decide if I'm going to buy it debt-free and put the money down, or if I'm going to, if I'm going to buy it out, or if I'm going to get a note. I chose to buy it out, and it's different for everybody. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that this is the route. For me, at that season, was better not to have a note. I wasn't trying to build debt or credit. I was trying to not have to deal with a monthly payment. And so I bought an Audi, and I drove that Audi till that engine fell apart. But it was the best thing that I ever did, and I was less concerned with what people thought about it. People probably looked and said, yeah, man, dude, you got an Audi, that's nice. For me, it wasn't the Audi. It was one, the pleasure and enjoyment of driving it, which lined up with I could afford it and which lined up with I could afford it and pay it off, period. And I wasn't concerned with what people thought. Even as I had it for years upon years, I had friends getting better cars, better looking cars than mine, of course. And it broke down and I had to fix it and all those things. But I stayed on the course because I kind of felt, I knew that I didn't want to have a note. I didn't care so much about what was going on around me. But just like Peter, when he's walking on the water, okay, and he's looking on to Jesus and he says, Lord, can I come? And he goes out there and he's walking and he gets to him and he starts to sink. And Jesus reaches out his hand and Peter's back up. He's not sinking. He's walking along with him. He started looking at everything that was around him, the whole situation, the circumstance. Even though he was doing the impossible, walking on water, the feelings, the emotions of the circumstance that he was in now affected his confidence and ability to be able to do what Jesus already told him he could do, you know? And I'm a believer that Jesus is truly a reflection of us, here to show us how we can walk again in those circumstances. But it still takes a level of confidence, going back to it. And if your confidence is tied in the stuff or in keeping up with others with that stuff, you'll always be in a deficit. You'll always feel less than. You'll always feel insecure because it's always going to attack what you don't have. It's not going to focus on what you do have. And that's what confidence does. It plays off of what you have, what you do have, and not what you don't have. It doesn't have you focus on your lack. It has you focus on your abundance. And in this season, as AI rolls out and all these other things come into play, we have to know who we are so we know how to use these tools in it, and we're not dependent on those tools or feel less than because we don't have the full information on those tools, you know? Because people are learning on AI, and I truly don't believe it's going to be adopted for another 5, 6, 7 years, you know? Let's keep rolling.
Our second week of living at the new home, new neighborhood. brand new neighborhood. So the people to the left of me have been there for about a month, a little over a month. People to the right of me just moved in. Both of them just moved in like 3-4 days ago. And so when everybody moves in, they try to get their cement poured, they trying to get lawns, And now I understand keeping up with the Joneses. When I was over at the condo, there isn't no keeping up with the Joneses. You can't change anything on the outside without going through HOA. And Papa was the HOA president, you know what I'm saying? Since resigned, former President Marco of the Ivy Terrace HOA. But now we over here in the neighborhood, and now we in the wild. We in the grown-up shit. So I know what keeping up with the Joneses feels like now, because I'm like, motherfucker over there got a nice ass awning, epoxy garage. Epoxy's on the garage. I'm like, fuck, man, I'm trying to get a lawn right now. And then motherfuckers right here, I just heard him measuring. They're going to extend their driveway too. Motherfucker down there already got it. They're going to extend their driveway too. I'm like, god damn. Right? The motherfucker on the corner, he has the perfect side yard. He's on the corner. He had a perfect side yard to do like a RV pull up, a little extendo mundo. You know what I mean? Dang. Christmas about to be a bitch, because I'm going to have this shit lit up. Halloween about to be spooky nights up in here. I'm going to have this bitch lit up. I got to show them we hold our own. Yeah, I want them to peek over and be like, what these young motherfuckers be doing? I'm working retail. Hey, yo, son, what you do for a living? I work retail. What do you do? Oh, you're a lawyer? Oh, you're a nurse, a doctor? I work retail. We in the same motherfucking neighborhood.
I often wonder how...
My man. Yo, I had to put that in there because it's crazy. In my neighborhood, they do all of that. They got the big lights and all of that. And one time I did a quote for a company to put the lights on my house and to wrap it and to make it competitive with my neighbors. And you got the word, right? Competitive with my neighbors. Bro, the invoice that the quote that they gave me, I said, hell no. Hell no. I'm going to put a reindeer, plug it into the outdoor outlet, and I'm probably going to put some type of Grinch blow up, and it's going to go there and it's going to blow. And that's just about it. And the colors, if you see any lights, is because I ran it on the ground around the tree and it wasn't in there. And you're like, why? It's Christmas. Because I don't think you should spend $800 to $1,000 to hang lights. And that's what some of these people charge. So you can have it.
These families, you'll see like your neighbors or the people down the street. You'll have the husband who drives like a brand new Chevy 2500.
Yeah. The way they afford it is they use a lot of credit. And, I realized that a lot of people don't really buy, not a lot, probably a fair amount, not a lot, because you may not be one of those people. Um, some of those people, they don't do some of the other basic things that you may do. I know I do. they can afford to buy all that stuff, but they don't really put any investment into their body, whether it's the food that they eat that's not processed food. And we have an issue with processed food, and it becomes worse now, even when the groceries are higher. So we got to sit back and think about this. I'm going to tell you the blessing of this time, which a lot of people don't get it. It's the ability to think. Right now, I would say the biggest blessing of this season, even though it seems stressed out, crazy, you got people losing their jobs, you got people trying to figure out how to pivot. You got some people making some good money also. So don't think this is everybody out here. There's some people that's caking and making good money, and they're average people working 9 to 5 regular jobs, and they may be in sales. They may have made other investments prior to this. But so it's not everybody. But the blessing on this time, in my opinion, is the ability to be able to sit back and assess everything you've done probably the last 5-10 years, which a lot of people don't get a chance to do. I like to assess I call it New Year's, which is my birthday. My New Year's is my birthday. Some of y'all New Year's is like January 1st, but for me, it's my birthday. That's what I call it. But I'm able to assess and say, do I want to continue going down that road, or I want to change it, you know? And it's the need, the requirement, the discipline to actually assess the situation and not being forced to assess it on the back end when stuff is going crazy and is off. And I think that we don't do that enough. Like, I didn't realize how much I was involved in hustle culture until like the deals started to slow down in real estate. And I had to say, okay, what's going on? And then in restructuring the business, and this is like 2-3 years ago. It wasn't a long time ago. But in restructuring the business, I said, damn, half of the stuff we've done is off of hustle culture. Like the grind or die, or I got to grind to make this. I wouldn't have gotten involved in many, many deals if I wasn't focused on hustle culture or worked with some of the people that I worked with, which they didn't bring any value. And I didn't really need them in the play, but you're working with them, you're doing deals, you're trying to, quote unquote, build this generational wealth, when in essence, you're really just hustling to impress the next person and say, man, I did a real estate deal. You say, oh, yeah, I got a closing today. I love it when agents or loan officers, I call them, they say, I got a closing today. I'm like, I mean, that's like telling Coca-Cola they sold a bottle of Coke today. That's what you're supposed to do. You make Coca-Cola, you sell the bottles. Why are you applauding? Applaud when you have broken your record from the previous year, and now you've broken it and you're up in revenue. And we can see that increase because you were up the year before, now you're up this year, and it is all right saying, hey, this deal takes me over what I did last year, and I'm like this, you know? But we have that need to impress people, to show them that we are the bomb, that we do a lot of bomb stuff, that we are dope, thorough, inside and outside. Come, you didn't believe in me. Now I believe in myself. Look what happened. Oh no. We love doing that. We love it. And you have to be genuinely honest with yourself to say, I love that. Yeah, I like showing them, and the people that didn't believe in me, didn't trust me, didn't see it. Listen, God gave it to you. They didn't see it. You rock with it. And the reality of it is he gave it to you probably because more than likely that idea that you saw and you executed on and it was running, and you don't have to show it to them. They see. And you should be more thanking that you saw it and they didn't see it and you were able to take full advantage of it. Hey guys, like, subscribe, follow for more content if you're watching this. I appreciate you chiming in. My name's Leon, if you don't know already. 20 years in the real estate business, 20 years married, 20 years, man, buying, flipping, investing, wholesaling, fix and flip, subject twos, creative financing, owner financing. I did some commercial too. In the real estate space, in the state of Georgia, in the city of Atlanta. And it's the best move I ever made.